Hello peeps and welcome to another episode of PsychoSi Presents. This is another episode of PsychoSi Presents video game mods. That's right, so I'm going to be concentrating on video game mods like I usually do when I do this. And this episode is a Skyrim mods episode. I know that I haven't been doing a lot of Unreal episodes, and I promise you that I will be doing some stuff later on. But I may be approaching a month-long hiatus. I will give you a channel update, and that will be up after this video goes up shortly. So keep a lookout for that, and you guys will be able to keep up on what's going on with PsychoSi, everything PsychoSi, all the stuff we're planning. We're planning big things, and we're actually going to be recording from a studio now instead of just from my apartment, and that is one of the main reasons this whole thing is going so big-a-baka-boo-ka-boo. So, that being said, let's get to it. The first mod on this list is actually a pack, and this is called Craftable Guns. It's a very good mod, and it's one that we're going to be jumping into right now. With the first mod in this pack, I want to cover, it's called the Flintlock Blunderbuster, or Blunderbuss rather. Sorry about that. Shoots good for short range combat, firing scatter fire patterns for a damage value of up to about 62. It's enhanceable by marksmanship skill, requires 3 firewood and 4 iron ingot in the smith or smithy in the smithy. It can be found in the iron section. It uses musket shot ammunition that can be smithed as well, I believe for 1 ingot, up to 1 ingot will yield 20 bullets, something like that. Scatter shot does about 32 damage plus the gun of your choice's damage plus the marksmanship skill that you have. Of course, it requires 1 iron ingot in the smith for you to be able to make your bullets. At first glance, the weapons controls feel a bit funky, however I later began to understand the overall design choice. A traditional gun mod would require you to aim using the right click, however in this gun, that is the melee button. So you do have a melee attack for close range combat. So that is still a good thing to do, so you can stagger your enemy and then shoot them in the face. You aim by holding the fire button, which is left click, and then you let go to fire, as to emulate the feel of, an old school gun, flintlock, musket, that kind of stuff. It's rather successful for the most part, however, it lacks an animation for the ball being fired. It has no projectile animation, unless I just wasn't able to see it. Maybe it's because I haven't put the settings all the way up. But I also noticed a minor little problem is, for some reason, when I use this in the Iron Man suit, my game tends to crash. Apparently, it doesn't want me to be Iron Man with guns. However, if these things don't bother you very much, then this is going to be a good gun for you to use. If you're capable of actually, doing the reload thing and not panicking when you got that frost troll coming after you trying to smack you in the head, and you can't really do anything because you have a long reload time. If that's your kind of game, do it. Next up on the list is the Flintlock Musket. It's a powerful long-range flintlock musket, also craftable in the smithery. You can find it in the iron section under the blunderbuss, and it can be crafted using 5 firewood and 3 iron ingot. Now, it has a damage value of about 51. It fires musket balls that do about 20 damage themselves, so if you have the 20 plus the 50 plus your marksmanship, just, think about it. It's pretty good damage. Keep in mind, though, that this is a long-range weapon. The fire rate on this gun is slower than that of the blunderbuss and takes twice as long to reload. Not ideal for running without a party. Capable of melee as well, but is far less effective than the previous melee that was shown to you in the blunderbuss. You can take out an enemy in about 4 shots if they're well-placed shots, though, depending on what the enemy is. A giant's going to take a lot longer, of course, or a colossus if you can run into one of those. But nonetheless, it's still a pretty good attempt at a projectile weapon. I would still use the crossbow or the blunderbuss. Either one of them is actually a better weapon to use, unless you just happen to be a person who wants to snipe in Skyrim, and using the flintlock musket will give you sort of that kind of feeling, but not exactly. And the third and final gun in this list on the Craftable Guns mod is the flintlock pistol. This gun has the fastest firing rate of those 3 guns, but this gun also seems to use no ammo, despite it unloading quite a lot without reloading. The melee is a punch that is piss poor slow though. I mean, I found it in the iron section, and that's where it can be smith for 2 firewood and 1 iron ingot. It does about 34 damage, but is only useful in close combat, so it's pretty much a melee. The upside though is that you can make 2 of them and actually dual wield these weapons because it's considered only a one-handed weapon. So if you're actually fast enough, you can pull out a little pirate thing going on, you know, the boom 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 thing, having a dual wielding, or you could play some Ancient Times Max Payne if you happen to get Master of Time and Space. I don't have that spell, however. I still have to get it, so screw you guys. I'm going home. The next mod on this list is actually an armor mod, and I don't cover a lot of armor mods on this show, so you can tell that if it's an armor mod being covered on this show, then it is an armor mod that is worth being covered. That was a lot of time I said covered. It's funny because that's what armors do. Now, as I was saying, this is a called Customizable Iron Man Armors, and this is a combination mod that adds many things. So I'll try hard to cover all of it. First of all, it adds 3 followers. That's right, 3 followers. First of which is Iron Man. He's in a far better armor than the armor found on the Skyrim Avengers version, which is using a kind of medieval-ish kind of look. This one looks like the Iron Man Mach 3 armor that you will find in the movies, and has become popularized by today's series involving Iron Man. Now, the lower half of the torso does show some texture glitching, though, and I've noticed that he'll just have black there instead of the actual color that he's supposed to have there. I don't know what happened there, but it happens. It's a mod. However, the armor itself still works very well as an armor. The only problem that I have is that it doesn't come coupled with a flying mod, so you will still have to get a flying mod and animations in order for you to be able to fly, as well as getting the repulsor blast spell, which is odd because it doesn't give you the function once you take the armor. However, the followers will still have the blast. So you get to see Rescue and War Machine and Iron Man kind of blow your enemies all the way across Skyrim using a repulsor blast, while you're sitting there wondering why when you put your hand up in the Iron Man armor nothing happens except for you waving your sword. But whatever. Now, as a follower, his race is a Breton. All stats are about 500 across the board, and at level 1 when he managed with AFT. Stats on Iron Man include that he has a 1 point of regen per second when it comes to the health, so his health doesn't really boost up that fast. But he has 5 stamina regen, and he also has 3 magicka regen. I assume that's because of the suit. And he resists magicka by 25%, and he has an armor rating of 314, making Iron Man a formidable opponent at level 1. I currently have him and his 2 companions set to only wear helmets during combat, which is why it is currently not showing. Other than that, the armors look very good. They don't add any real combat detail or functionality, and for some reason when you have the hood on, there is no HUD to come up that would, you know, display that Jarvis actually exists in the mod, which he doesn't, which was also kind of disappointing. However, it looks really, really, really good. If you want a really good Iron Man armor, this is the one to go with, and just do everything that I had told you from that point on, as for getting the flying and everything else. If you need me to make a video for that, I can in the future. Just leave me a message in the comments, and I'll start doing whatever I need to do to make that video possible, so you can have yourself a flying Iron Man who actually has a repulsor blast that's worthy of being called Iron-like or something. Yeah. And for the final mod that I have to show you is the Frilly outfit. I think it's Taylor's Frilly outfit, something like that. It's on the Skyrim workshop in the Steam workshop, so you can pick it up there. It's really easy. I don't really have much to say about it. It's a maid's outfit, and you know how I feel about these armors. I don't really feel that they are armors. Just like the swimsuit, it isn't really an armor. There's no practicality to it, and there's no such way for them to actually be protected by anything. I mean, really, this is so protectional. Maid's outfit. That midsection is totally not exposed to any kind of, I don't know,
What did you need?
swords or axes or blades or even guns, since now they exist, and crossbows.
What did you need?
Yeah, you're so protected up the ass. Unless the freaking thing is actually made of ebony ingot, which you have to use to smith it. Don't ask why a frilly skirt is made of ebony ingot. I have no idea. But I didn't make the mod. I just telling you what it does.
Yes. What did you
There's not much to say. Unless you want to see a chick in Skyrim dressed up as a maid. If you have that, you know, maid fetish for Skyrim women,
need? Yes.
go ahead and
What did you
download
need?
this mod. Otherwise, just look at it and be in shock and awe because somebody actually took the time to make this. It's cool though. It looks good. I'm not knocking it. It's nice.
I'm right behind you.
I just don't think purple heels go with this black
Yes.
dress though.
What did you need?
It's kind of weird.
I'm right behind you.
And those are all the mods that I had to show you in this episode. I am sorry that I could not stay with you for longer, but we are already running on 11 minutes and 29 seconds, which means this is almost a 12-minute video. If I have it last one more minute, it will be that unlucky number that I love. You know what it is, the 13. So I might just keep talking until I get to 13 minutes, but I'm not going to be an asshole like that. No, I'm not going to do that, guys. It's going to end at 12 minutes. I'll make sure. But if you guys like this video, you know, do the whole deal, you know, like, subscribe, click on clicky buttons, button clicks and click buttons and likes and favorites and shares and all that other stuff, and put my show out there. Take this video and move it places, make it do stuff. Looks like I'm already past 12 minutes on the dot, so I'm just going to keep talking now, but it's not going to be for a whole minute, I promise. What I am going to say is I'm going to give you a little bit more information on that channel update. Like I said, I'm going to be taking about a month hiatus because I'm currently already negotiating with my parents about going to school for film. And what I'll be going for is what I'm already working on with this. Digital broadcasting for broadcasting journalism, digital editing, and screenwriting. So a lot of these things are going to help this show become a lot more official and a lot bigger. I'm trying to do what I can to make the network bigger and actually get a lot of people involved in this. However, it is a slow process because everyone does have lives and people have things that they have to take care of. So that's just the bottom line of it, you know. The good thing about it, though, however, is that it will be worth it. And this I promise you, it will be worth it. I promise that to everyone, and it's already hit 13 minutes, so I have to end the video here, so I'll just save the rest of the information for the channel update. You should expect that later on this week, and it shouldn't be up, it should be up before the weekend. Woo! It shouldn't be up, I couldn't even know what I'm saying. Alright, you know what it is, everybody, take it with a bunch of ease, just a bunch of ease, so much ease, and doozies, because I love y'all. Bye-bye.